So I'm about to sharpen these convex edge grooming shears, and they're not in bad shape. They got a few nicks in them. When you do the rod line, which you have to do that first, you might have to start like way down on your stone, not up here like you normally would. And my pressure is over the pivot, light out here, on a bad spot here. And I find on these stones, it's really, these type of shears, when they're this long, it's really imperative to color them in red, because it's hard to see if you've got the rod line all the way down. And I do. It's a little wimpy right up here in the corner. So I might go up and work that area. And that looks pretty good. Other blade. And I'm trying to keep the whole blade on the stone. So if you notice, I'm just basically working right down in here. It's the only way I can keep the whole blade on the stone. I've known some people that will try to do this kind of thing, but you can't keep it flat unless it's all the way on here. And also, you want the grind from the stone to be this way. And this is a 2000 grit Japanese Naniwa stone. I would have used something like that. Now, I'm using an experimental plate today. This is someone, company sent this to me to try out. This is set at 40 degrees. I'm going to leave it there. But this is a 1500, which is finer than what I normally would like, but this seems to have a little bit more gravitas to it, a little bit stronger. So we'll see how it works. And I'm set at 40. These might take 45. But for a dog grooming shear, I think a 40 is going to be sufficient. So I'm landing and then rolling to the edge. And I want my tip is not touching beyond the center. I had somebody the other day I was training, and we couldn't figure out why his tip wasn't working. And then when I watched him, I saw he was letting his tip touch beyond the center. And I was like, oh, that's what it is. So I'm trying to create a burr is what I'm trying to do at this point. And so far I'm really liking this new product here. I don't know what the price will be or anything, but I've done a couple of shears on it today, and anytime I've had a 1500 and I've done that many, it would not be working. It would be so worn down that it just wouldn't have any get up and go to it. But this is smooth enough. It's not going to be any problem at all polishing it. I'm liking it. Now I'm changing my micro adjuster. So those that watch me all the time, you might know who Harry is, Jean's brother. He has cheated death so many times. God must want him for something in this world. But he just pulled through and got out of the hospital yesterday. And pretty remarkable recovery once again. And we're going down to Jacksonville, but he used to, he was a sharpener. In fact, let me show you this. You see the machine way over there? That was like my first Scimech machine. It still works, and he gave it back to me. Because he's really not sharpening. Well, he's got another Flathone, because he was building these for us for a while. But he gave it back to me because he's got Lewy body dementia, so he really shouldn't be sharpening. Now I'm seeing a lot of buildup of swarf on here. I think I'm just going to leave it rather than try to take it off, and because I'm giving this a good workout and seeing how it works. But Harry's doing well. He still can sharpen some shears, and I think that's a good lesson for those of you that are older that are thinking of getting in this business, and can I do it, and can I remember how to do it, and even though he's got dementia, he can't drive anymore, you know, he can still sharpen shears. I saw him do one for his wife. Okay, I got a burr. It's kind of wimpy at that tip. Okay, now I'm going to get it a little bit more convexy. I got a burr. I'm going to move my micro adjust again. Go back to my polishing pad. Polished up really nice. I'm going to go back because there was some grimy stuff from, I guess, from the dog grooming. So get that whole surface. And as I said, once again, I don't want to be touching beyond the center. So I'm going back to my stone. This is my Nagura stone. And that sort of cleans it off, and it leaves like a sharpening mud. And I want to just pull my burr off. You see it right there. And when you pull your burr off, make sure you're not doing any rocking. There was some shears that came in here the other day that were beautiful, and it was for the certification. And they wouldn't cut wet tissue. And I was wondering, well, maybe when he pulled the burr off, he did a little bit of flipping up. I don't know. I sent him back to him again. They cut hair. They weren't bad. His customers would probably be happy with him. Oh, that feels nice. So what I'm doing now, this is what I call kissing. Yeah, in pulling that burr off here, I probably pushed a little burr to the outside. And so I'm just, with the machine running slow, I'm just going down the outside again, and if it feels smooth to my microfiber cloth, it's good to go. So let's clean them up, put them back together, and we'll have these convex edge dog grooming shears done. Now I want to do a shout out to those who are on my Patreon because they help. Well, I get a little financial out of it, not that much, but it gives me a chance. There's a lot of really good videos that I like to have out there, but I can't just put them on YouTube because they're ones that people paid for them in the past, and it didn't seem fair. So I have those on Patreon, so you can do a low subscription and watch these videos. Some by me, some of them by other experts and educators, and there's some where we go really in depth. If you're I'm going to call you an edge nerd. So you may want to check that out. You can actually go on there for free if you want to. And then I've got my book is out. It's on Amazon, and it's also on my website. My newest book. I've got 2 other books on shears, but this is the best one. It's Mastering Shear Sharpening. And I go through, dog grooming shears, beauty shears, curve shears, texturizers, thinning shears. Lots of information about how shears are used, different types of shears, what they're for. It's basically a brain dump of everything I know that I put in there. So I don't close it when I'm putting the screw together. I'm going to do my first close on a paper towel, and that way if there's any burrs, I've cut them off. And then I'm going to check the adjustment. And they didn't cut too bad before, but this time they should cut so good they'll cut wet tissue, which is a harder test because wet tissue will, tear real easy. So, I don't know if that's in the camera. That looks good. So those are done. Nice and sharp. If you know they're going to be grooming, it might be good to check them on some rabbit fur, especially the tip, because sometimes they'll pass my test over there and they'll flip and fold hair here. And then let's try on some of this type of fur. Those cut nice. And that's a convex edge dog grooming shear. Came out nice. I'm pretty happy with it.